can I have another wine?
You're listening to the Giggle Gang podcast.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
If you want it, just come get it.
A Giggle Gang podcast.
Just be myself.
For fuck's sake.
You know, sometimes people pay me to say ridiculous shit, and sometimes I just say it for free.
Jesus Christ.
You're listening to the Giggle Gang podcast.
For depression.
When you occasionally get to feel something and you're like, oh, I remember what that felt like.
Like what, for example?
Like when you feel like sad. You're like, oh, I'm sad, but I'm happy that I'm sad because beforehand it was just like nothing. It's just nothing. It's just like a imagine a calm, like completely still ocean.
Isn't that nice though?
No, it's boring.
Oh right.
Like imagine just a complete, endless, completely flat ocean with nothing in it and nothing above it, and then so occasionally, like you see, like a shipwreck. It's like, well, that's bad, but at least it's something.
Interesting. I've never heard depression described this way. I've not really asked many people to describe depression, I'll be honest with you, and I've never had it. I have no idea. I have no grasp of what it's like.
Okay, so you want to know quite it's not funny, but it's fun. Was I've been on anti-anxiety medication for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
And when I started taking this anti-anxiety medication, like I was reading up on the side effects.
Is it basically speed? Is that anti-anxiety?
No. That that'd probably be better.
Okay.
What's
What's the base of these drugs?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the base of anti-anxiety? Is Valium anti-anxiety? Is it?
I don't know. I'm just trying to tell a story.
Oh right, okay. I'm trying to get down to the
but I'm not. I don't know. The doctors say take this and you'll feel better, and I take it and I feel better. So anyway, the side effects it can enhance symptoms of depression.
Okay.
And 2.5 years ago, I was like, well, I'm not depressed. So no risk, no problem. If I get like a sore tummy every now and again, that's absolutely fine. If it means that I don't feel like I'm on the verge of death every time I step outside, then fantastic. So I started taking it, and then I did start to develop symptoms of depression. And I was like, okay, maybe I should go talk to my GP about this, see about switching to a medication that won't do that. Because I've talked to people who have been like, oh yeah, I've been on anti-anxiety medication and it has made my depression worse, but I just went and got a different medication. So I was like, okay, I'll talk to my GP. I'll sort that out. I went to my GP and I started talking to him about it and about how the depression symptoms had sort of come about. And he was like, do you not know that the medication you take is an antidepressant? And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, it's an SSRI, so it inhibits it. Oh wait, or is it? I don't remember. Don't put that in. But it's it's an antidepressant what you're taking, and I think you got it sort of flipped when you first started. Was it's an antidepressant that can actually have a risk of increasing symptoms of anxiety. So I was like, whoop, okay, why the fuck was I prescribed it in the first place? But whatever, through placebo effect or whatever else, it did seem to work. My anxiety isn't as bad as it was 2.5 years ago. It is manageable now. Right. But now I am depressed and I'm on antidepressants. So he was like, do you want to switch medication or up the dosage? I was like, you know what, let's try upping the dosage, see if that works. And so far, it hasn't. So we'll see about switching medications in the future.
So I'm reading about anti-anxiety medications. Anti-anxiety medications have physical effects on the brain and body which help reduce the symptoms of anxiety, such as worry, fear, and panic attack.
Yeah.
So there are different types. There's benzodiazepines, such as Valium, Xanax, those sort of types of drugs, and they're used to treat anxiety for a short-term period. So
yes,
usually they're used for a generalized anxiety disorder, maybe as a second-line treatment for a panic disorder, but with antidepressants being the front-line sources. So benzodiazepines induce muscle relaxation and reduce other symptoms related to anxiety. There's also beta blockers. There's bursoprone, which is prescribed for long-term chronic anxiety, and then selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors.
SSRIs, yeah.
SSRIs.
And that's what I'm on.
Right, so they're used as a first-line treatment for anxiety disorders, include medications like Paxil, Prozac, Zoloft, and Lexapro. They're considered antidepressants as they increase the amount of serotonin in the brain. So it's almost like...
so it's supposed to help both of them.
Yeah, it's almost like 5-HTP. It's not, because 5-HTP is a naturally occurring brain chemical. This is an artificially occurring, and it doesn't dump the serotonin, it just makes you produce more. So you know when you take like MDMA and ecstasy?
I don't, but go on.
Okay, so neither do I. So you take MDMA, you take ecstasy, liquid ecstasy, whatever it is, and the idea of the chemicals in those drugs is to take all the serotonin from your brain and drain it all out. We pump it all into your bloodstream. It just drops at one time, and that's why you're super, super happy. Oh my god, the world's amazing, everything's great, nothing's ever a problem, right? But then you have the downtime, right? You have because once the serotonin's dropped, the next day you're very flat. You almost have this come down, this post MDMA ecstasy depression almost, just for a day while your body works its way back up, the happy chemicals come back, and you come back to a normal level of up and down and happy days. So this is not dropping all the serotonin, it's just giving you more. So it's a chance of your brain doesn't actually produce as much serotonin as, say, someone without anxiety and depression. So you don't have enough stuff, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same with blood or whatever, people that need blood transfusions or whatever, their body's not producing enough blood, there's not enough oxygen in their blood to power their body, whatever. They need people to put blood back in their body so they don't fucking die.
Yeah.
Is that science? Am I bro-sciencing the fuck out
of this?
Oh,
you're bro-sciencing the fuck out of this, but hey, the Giggle Gang podcast, educational.
Absolutely. Now, fun thing with antidepressants, they do increase the risk of suicidal ideation.
Ideation?
It's idea T-O-N.
Okay.
What did I say?
No, you said that. Just I've never heard that.
I've
never heard
I don't
that
know.
before. Yeah.
Thinking about or planning a suicide.
Oh, okay.
So the next fun question is, where did you get your nose pierced?
I got it pierced at Holier Than Now on Oldham Street in Manchester.
Oh.
That's where I also got my ears pierced. Wait, no, I got my ears pierced there. I didn't. I got my nose pierced in Newcastle at Blue Lotus.
Can you tell me how the nose piercing works? Does it collapse at the back? Because I can't imagine you push those diamonds through your nose.
Yeah, it's so the nose piercing itself works as like a clip.
Oh, right. So it just.
Right. When I got my nose actually pierced, they gave me like a horseshoe that was like ball bearings on it. So like you screw off the ball bearing on one end, you put the piercing through, and then it can't go through because of the ball bearing on the other end. So when you screw the ball bearing on the first end, then it can't come out either way. And also, if you're then going for a job interview, you can just like flip it up and it hides in your nose, which is very cool.
So what is the attraction of a nose piercing or a facial piercing in general?
So I'm just really attracted to people with facial piercings.
Okay.
They're what I deem to be, well, not like, it's not if you don't have a facial piercing, you're not attractive, Matty.
So am I. Are you saying that I'm unattractive?
No, that's exactly not what that's exactly what I'm not saying. I'm exactly saying that I just say that I find people with like facial piercings more attractive, and in my ever ongoing quest to be more attractive to myself.
Okay.
So I can learn self-love.
Okay.
I want to, feel more attractive, and so having this very nice, like, fake diamond or fake jewels or whatever, like nose ring. It's like, I look in the mirror, I'm like, I'm hot. And also, once
so the nose piercing is like for somebody else maybe having like fake breasts or big lips or whatever. Those type of body modifications, basically. Yours is
not to that extent, because it's like it's partly I want to look hot, and also it's partly just like I just wanted it. Like the first one I got, even before I got my ears pierced, was I got my lip pierced.
Okay.
I can't even remember, like, there must have just been, like, some person I saw on the TV or in a movie, or, like, someone who just had a lip piercing.
So how long have you had the lip piercing for?
I got it when I was 19, so about 7 years.
I thought you were going to say you got it when you were 9.
Yeah, I got it when I was...
fucking Newcastle's wild, man.
No, I got it when I was 19, so I've had it about 7 years.
Okay.
I've only taken it out to wash it, essentially, and, like, I'd rather just wash it when it's in the mouth, because, like taking the nose piercing out is easy enough because it just clips in and clips out. Taking this out is taking it out is easy. Putting it back in is a fucking ball ache. So.
Right. In terms of pain or just hassle?
Hassle.
Right.
No, because like once the
My lips are starting to hurt.
you don't have any piercings. Do
No,
you?
I don't have any piercings or tattoos. At all. Never have.
Because obviously when you first get, say, the lip piercing, like it's so sensitive, it's so hurt, like eating is a nightmare. I basically lived on soup for about 6 just because I didn't want to chew anything in case.
Oh, I get it. I find that would be the thing for me where I was like, I can't eat
because I feel like I look cool, Matty, and now
you would
now
eat soup for how long? 6 months.
Weeks.
6 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, and also like that is I'm exaggerating for comic effect. I did of course eat actual food. I just was very careful with my chewing to make sure I didn't
But there was definitely a conscious thought, maybe I shouldn't eat that because I have the lip piercing on something.
Because you need to keep it super clean. So for the 6 months, the 6 weeks while this was still healing over, couldn't eat ass.
Couldn't eat ass. Because there are some piercings that have a sexual connotation to them. Like
tongue piercing.
Tongue piercing.
Or
a
Prince Albert, yeah.
Hang on, you need to explain these things.
Oh, you don't know what a Prince Albert is?
I probably do, but I don't know what's called a Prince Albert.
Oh, if you don't know what it is, you're about to squirm. It's...
my favourite piercing is the Prince Andrew, but we'll talk about that later.
It's... of course it is. It's the dick. It's a dick piercing.
A dick piercing?
A dick piercing.
Where, though?
I don't know exactly because I'm going to be honest. Listen, you researched SSRIs. Go.
If I just
incognito tab.
Why?
Yeah, good point.
No, I will because I'm so nervous. So Prince Albert piercing.
Yeah.
Okay. And describe it to me from what you know.
I know it as being Well, that's the.
Oh my word! Okay.
Oh, listeners, I wish you could see his face.
So, oh my god, that's fucking horrible. So, lads, think about your penis as a bell, okay? Although there's different options. Oh shit! Okay,
yeah, you got to be able to customize.
So you either go from where the little hole is. Basically, it goes through the hole. Or just above the hole where you would piss out of, and then it has an anchor at the base of the bell, and then that looks so unpleasant. That looks horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And all the dicks look sick. All the dicks look very, very sick.
I'm assuming you mean ill, not totally dope.
Look at this dick. Yes, that's not a healthy looking dick.
No, but. No, I wouldn't say that's a help. No.
But the piercing is a bar that goes straight across the bell, and then I assume the artistic end, the hole is probably going to be there at the end, and then it's like a bloody bull ring out the top of. That is literally the most graphic. Oh my god, okay, so the Prince Albert typically is one that goes just under where the piss hole is, right? And goes right back to the base of the bell.
That's a scientific term, the piss hole.
Okay, then there's called the alum pang, and that's just a bar straight across your cock, right? Yeah. Then there's ball bag piercings. Oh my god, there's one you can get in your gooch strip, the little bit of skin. There's one you can get.
You can pierce anything. That
is so disgusting. I'm shocked. You've changed my life and not for the better.
That's all I aim to do.
Yeah, I didn't expect to look at that many dicks on today's show, I'll be honest with you.
Just mine, and then...
well, obviously. I'm not an idiot. Why would I invite you if we weren't looking at each other's penises?
That's how I got the podcast gig in the first place.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Some people, Sim Ancient, who was on the other way, he was on the original podcast. He was within the first 10 episodes, and then he came back and we were up to 120. He was like, wow, you were here not so long ago.
No, exactly.
So it's all about the dick game.
Yeah, but I'm here mainly because I had a big thing happen.
You did have a big thing happen. You bought glasses. No. Umby and your partner, whose name escapes me.
Brendan.
I was going to say Bradley, but I was like, no, that's Bradley Clark.
You got some of the letters right.
But I was picturing Bradley Clark. I was like, it's definitely not with Bradley Clark.
Unfortunately.
Poor Bradley Clark's been dragged into a story he didn't need to be. Shout out to you, Bradley. But you and Brendan have had a baby.
Yes.
What happened? Because I know there was a little bit of controversy about the surprise nature of this baby.
I don't think controversy, I wouldn't say, but I mean surprise, emphasis on. Why do you think controversy?
Well, from my memory, right, what I remembered was you had told me that you were having a baby, or you thought you were having a baby, right? And then it came out, everyone else was like, oh my God, Umby's having a baby. And I was like, yeah, I knew that. You told me. Sorry, I just misgendered you. I apologize. But I was like, oh, and then you were like, oh, it was a surprise baby. And I was like, I swear you had told me that you had. So I was a little bit confused about the whole situation, but I was like, oh, okay.
What, was this like on the last podcast? Or when did I tell you that I was having a baby? Because I didn't even know I was having a baby till I was having a baby.
To be honest, it might have been a dream, right? Because
okay.
I can't quite remember, and I did listen back to the last podcast, and it definitely wasn't recorded that we spoke about babies. Yeah. Because it's not something I usually speak about.
Yeah, no. And I had no reason to talk about babies back then.
So how do you have a surprise baby? Like, how the fuck can you not know?
Yeah, so just to clarify for any of your listeners who like don't know, just it's going to be like the base knowledge you'll need moving on is that Brendan, my partner, is a transgender man.
Yeah.
So is a man, but does not have the same kit that you or I have.
Right.
Has the baby making kit, which is a crucial part of this story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have the baby making kit,
then all we did was kidnap a baby.
Yeah. Surprise.
Surprise. I'm a felon. No, so we Brendan had really bad stomach cramps on like the Wednesday and the Thursday, right? Really bad on the Thursday night, to the point where like I almost took him to A&E because like I in my mind I was like his like appendix is about to burst or something.
Right. Okay.
And so we don't take him to A&E because he's like, no, it's not quite that bad. I'm like, okay, but I'm calling the GP in the morning, see if there's been a cancellation, see if I can't get you an appointment tomorrow.
Right.
So
and the pain's so bad that he couldn't sleep?
He could sleep, but it was like he was having trouble sleeping.
But so were these contractions?
We'll get there.
Okay.
Jumping ahead of it.
Yeah, spoil the story for me, quick.
Yeah. So we get to the GP, and the GP is like, this is a pregnant belly.
Okay.
You are having a baby. And by my estimate, the baby is about 14 to 15 weeks along. So the pain that you're feeling is pregnancy. It's pregnancy.
Okay.
And we're like, oh, okay.
14 to 15 weeks.
Which they pointed out was like, it's too late to, unless there's like a major health risk, that's too late.
12 weeks is the time where you can tell people. So there was no, like, because typically people know that they're pregnant, or women know that they're pregnant, because you will like vomit in the morning after, or whatever, it'll be like something, and you'll be like, oh my God, I feel like shit. Like, was there none of that until the stomach cramps?
There was no like morning sickness,
abnormality.
There was no like weird, food cravings. There was no like swollen feet. There was
swollen feet. Is that a?
I think I've heard that.
Okay. I've never had a baby, so I don't fucking know.
There was, and like there was a little bit of a belly, but like when I say a little bit of a belly, I mean like no offense, Matty, but about as much as what you're carrying.
Okay.
Like. Really not a pregnant.
Now's the time to come out and announce that I'm not pregnant. For everyone wondering.
I mean, you could be.
I did eat a packet of M&Ms on the bus back from London today, though, so that may be contributing to.
But like, so that's the kind of figure we're talking about here.
But usually a pregnant belly is like a hard shell, almost like a turtle. Because it's starting to encase, it fills up with liquid. Because if you press mine, it's nice and soft. It wobbles around everywhere.
Yeah.
How much inspection of Brendan's belly were you doing?
Well, exactly. Like, we had no suspicions that he might be pregnant. So, like, I wasn't there, like, listening for a heartbeat or feeling for a kick or whatever. If I like...
Imagine if you found out, like, you were... I don't know if you ever do this, right? But imagine if you were just lying in bed and you had your head on his belly, right? And you felt the kicks, like someone knocking on the door. And you were like, there's something
There's something in the water.
And he's like, no, it's impossible. I mean, don't be ridiculous. You're going crazy. You're like, no, I heard it.
Yeah. So, yeah, there was a lot of people's like immediate question is, well, what about periods?
Okay. That's another.
And the thing is, so the baby came in mid-November.
Okay.
This story takes place in mid-November. Brendan, by his word, and obviously I live with him, so I can keep track of it for the most part. Not that I do, but like he said that his period stopped around about late August, maybe mid-August. So about 2.5 months before the baby was due. So like by that time, but you know, he's telling me like that can sometimes, especially with like, you know, he's also on antidepressants. He's like, sometimes biology can just be weird like that, and also I had other things in my mind. I wasn't necessarily thinking about stuff like that, and we weren't like.
Can I ask, is Brendan taking male hormones?
Not yet, and thank God, because we don't know what effect that would have had on the baby.
Because that can also affect the period cycle, can't it? It's the same as birth control or contraception or anything else. Messing with the hormone balance can. You can skip periods, you can have irregular ones that come at different times, you can have them really close together, like one and then 10 days and then another one, or 1 and 2 months and then, do you know what I mean?
So exactly. Now, obviously he wasn't on the hormone, so we didn't we didn't consider that, but at the same time, it's just like, we didn't really have that much sex around about that time of the year, so we weren't particularly thinking that was a worry.
Right.
So
is there other times of the year where you do have more sex? Like, are you more of a Christmas time sex, or?
No, it's just because at that time we were both in like the midst of our depression, so like we were both just too tired and like depressed to get in the mood. But so when the GP says about 14 to 15 weeks, Brendan does some quick maths in his head to when his last period was, and he's like, oh, that tracks. Shit, okay, we got a baby coming. So I call my dad, and like I'm just crying down the phone. I'm like, I can't do this.
You can't do what?
I can't.
You're not really doing a lot here.
Yeah, no, but I'm like I can't raise a kid.
Yeah.
And like. I know I'm going to be there for Brendan throughout the pregnancy, but like it's going to be so hard on him. Like you know, the when the hormones kick off and like all the and he gets the belly and like it hurts to like walk around and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just like,
at 15 weeks, there's still a ways to go.
Yeah. I'm like. I know it's obviously it's going to be harder on him, but like physically and emotionally, but like it is still going to take a toll on me. And then afterwards, like, because I have always wanted a kid, but like not now.
Yeah,
not now. So I'm just, and you know, it's big news. So
for people that want to know, how old are you, Umby?
Well, when this happened, I was 25.
Okay,
I just turned 26.
Cool.
And like I wanted a kid, but not until I was like in my 30s.
Okay.
So I call my dad and I'm crying down the phone, and he's like telling me that, you know, he's going to support me and whether we agree to like keep the kid or put it up for adoption or anything like that, you know, we've got his backing 100%.
Okay.
And he's going to come down to Manchester and you know, see us and like just make sure that we're okay. But back to the GP. The GP is like, because you are 14, 15 weeks along, you really should have had your first ultrasound by now. So we're going to book you in to Salford Royal, and you're going to get an appointment this afternoon, so you can have your first ultrasound.
Oh wow! Yeah, because they also want to check what's going on.
Yeah, and they want to make sure that the baby's healthy and blah blah blah. So they got us booked in that afternoon. So 90 minutes after we find out that we are having a baby, we are in the ultrasound technician's office, and she says, this baby is not 14 to 15 weeks along. This baby is 35 to 39 weeks along. And the pain that you have been feeling over the past couple of days is labour. Labour has started. This baby is coming.
What? So is the baby... Okay, let's give the baby a name, because the baby
Lilly. She has a name. She has been born. She has a name. Her
Beautiful.
name is Lilly.
Okay, happy story. Was Lily born underweight? Was Lily a very small baby, or
she was born 4 weeks premature? She was born at 35 weeks gestation, and she was born 6.6 pounds. I was born 10 pounds, but I was considered a heavy baby.
Yeah, I was a 10-pound baby as well.
So I think, I don't know if she's like bang on average or slightly below average, but she wasn't abnormal. Like she didn't need like, you know, to like be in like special care for a significant period of time or anything like that. Like just a she was born, and then she was fine. Like she's.
So did Brendan have the easiest pregnancy known to ever, because never really found out that?
Well, because you hear stories of like people being like, oh, you know, I didn't think I was pregnant, and then I went to the toilet, and when I went to flush, there was a baby in the toilet. So,
yeah,
like those people had easier pregnancies because they like physically went through the birth without even knowing. Brendan did have to go through the childbirth process, but what really sucked for him, on top of all of it, was that. If you want an epidural, if you want like the you know effective pain relief that they can give you, they need to do some tests on you to make sure that your body's not going to have a negative reaction to it. They didn't have time to do that, so he just had the natural gas. Like
the natural birth and the nitrous gas.
Yeah.
And the gas is good. Like I had the gas when I was getting my toe operated on, but I had the gas so they could give me an anaesthetic injection.
Yeah, he didn't even get that. He got no injection, just the gas and the fun of pushing out a 6.6 pound baby out of something that is not prepared for it. I mean, biologically, it is, you know, prepared for it, but emotionally and mentally and physically speaking,
because the thing about pregnancy is that most people that get to that point have like had time to get the nursery ready and they've got clothes ready and everything. So did the birth happen that afternoon?
No, so we got I like to say we were diagnosed with baby on Friday morning. The baby came Saturday afternoon.
What? So there was a day?
There was 30 hours. It was.
How did I know?
It was 30 hours between finding out that we were pregnant to Lily being born.
Because I swear, a month before Lily was born, I knew you were having a baby, and in my head I thought you had told me. So did I dream it?
You must have.
Why am I dreaming about you having a baby?
Because a month before Lily was born, I didn't think I was having a baby. I was like, oh.
Because when people told me, they were like, Umby and Brendan have had a baby. And I was like, I know. And they were like, but how did you know? I was like,
so what I'm saying is, what I'm hearing is you've been spreading lies about me among the comedy circuit.
No, I've not been spreading lies, because I was convinced that you had told me that you were having a baby. And that was it. I was like, yeah, I know. Like when I got told, I think it would have been Sean or Hazel that told me, right? And I was like, I know. And they were like, but how do you know? I was like, Umby told me months ago. Not months ago, maybe a month earlier.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's unbelievable.
I definitely didn't.
So am I
psychic?
Now, can we say that I have psychic dreams about pregnancies?
I mean, you've had one.
So we have. I have psychic dream about pregnancy.
Make it a pattern, and then we'll get like Darren Brown into sort of.
Simon Lomas will be next to give birth. You heard it here first.
He himself.
Yes.
You hear him now. He's on his way to Holier Than Thou to get his dick stapled shut with a Prince Albert so that he can't push a baby through it.
Why did you bring it back to Prince Albert? You fucking horrible person. I'm just getting flashbacks to those horrible wrinkles.
You imagine Simon Lomas's dick with a bull ring in it. You sit there and you do it. That's what you get for inviting me onto the show.
So let's talk more about Lily and less about dick piercings. So what is it like to be a parent of a child? What?
So because, as you quite rightly pointed out, most people who have babies, even like if they initially don't expect it, but they come around to wanting it, they have the months to prepare for it. They can get the house ready. They can take classes and courses. They can emotionally prepare. They can make sure that they are financially stable. We had none of that.
Right.
So initially, our plan A, and a lot of people hear that this was plan A and like freak out, but like our plan A was to put her up for adoption. Mm-hmm. Like we talked about this with the social workers. We were like, the most selfless thing we can do, because even though I knew I couldn't raise her like in any aspect of it, like once she was born I was like, I still want her.
Yeah.
Like, because it hurt as much, because like as much as I've always wanted a kid, for some reason I've always particularly wanted a daughter. Like I had the name Lily picked out when I was 14.
Okay.
So like I've always wanted a daughter. So when like I saw that I had a daughter, I was like, fuck. I'm like, giving her up is going to be the hardest thing in the world. But I know that she's she's going to have two parents who love her very, very much if she comes home with us, but they're two parents who will not be able to like take care of her needs, and like it's for her best interests that she goes to a family and a household that would actually be able to raise her.
Mm-hmm. Now, my mum was an adopted child, right?
Yeah.
And not similar situation, but similar in a way. So, excuse me, her birth mother, was seeing this guy that was a little bit older. He was 19, she was 15, right? And they were sort of going around together, and she had sort of not slept with anybody before. She was a little bit sort of cagey about it, and they spent maybe a month, 2 months together. Went to a party one night. He was like, are your parents home? She's like, no, my parents aren't home. Okay, I'll drive you home, whatever. Ended up coming inside. They end up sleeping together. Fantastic. He's like, this is ace. Awesome. Then at the end of that week, she's like, I'm pregnant. She rings him to be like, oh my gosh, like first time having sex, or first or second time. It was early doors. Oh my gosh, I've had a baby. I'm 15. I'm still at school. What do I do? And he was like, put it up for adoption, hung up the phone, got on his motorbike and rode to another city. Like he was like, I am dealing with this. And he was like an adult at that point. He was 19, right? So he was like, see ya. So she was a bit panicky, right? Spoke to her parents and everything, and they were like, again, just like your father, we'll support you in whatever you do.
Yeah.
We think that you should put it up for adoption. And back in the 1960s, 1966, 65, right? That was maybe a more common thing to do in Western culture. Do you know what I mean? Now, I don't know if adoption is as popular.
Well, here's the thing. It's definitely, I think, less taboo to be adopted. Because when we were talking with the social workers, they were like, so... if you're worried that this is like a thing where you'll give the child and never ever see or hear from them again, even if you want to, like they prepare like packages where they take photos of you, the birth parents, and they sort of write this little put this little book together of like, here are your birth parents, here's why they couldn't have you, here's the story of your birth.
Oh, wow.
They like say, to you, the birth parents, like, do you want the child when they are a little bit older to be able to reach out to you? And you can say yes or no. And so, when we were talking about the social workers, like, yeah, obviously, because we'd love to know when she's like a person and like has been raised properly and all that stuff. And it was very real in our heads. It was very real that we were going to give her up. And so Brendan was in hospital for a couple of days because he had.
So you both come to the decision saying you were going to give Lilly up for adoption.
Yeah, it was like a unanimous. I don't want to say it was an easy decision because that does make us sound heartless.
Was Brendan's parents involved in the decision as well?
No.
Okay.
No, because I don't want to get into that. But my parents were. And my mum had come down to visit for a couple of days because my dad, like, he'd come down on the first night, but then he had meetings and stuff back in Newcastle, so he had to go and do that. But my mum, she took the time off work. She came and she spent a few days with me. And one of those days was Brendan's still in hospital because he got like a minor infection during childbirth. Nothing that they can't treat with antibiotics, but like it's nothing. But he has to be in there for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So one of the days, me and my mum are going in to visit him, and my mum says, Have the social workers not talked to you about whether or not someone else in the family wants to look after her? And I said, no, they actually haven't brought that up. And like semi-jokingly, I was like, why, are you offering? And she was like, I'm thinking about it. Because my mum, for the past 2 years, has been counting down the days to her retirement.
Okay.
Which would be...
How old's your mum, like 65?
No, 50, 55, 56, but she's been...
Young retiree.
She's been working with the NHS for her entire life. So,
okay.
I think she's like racked up the miles or whatever.
As what in the NHS?
As a health visitor for newborn children.
Oh my goodness, she's got my sister's dream job.
Yeah. So and
She
before
visits
that,
new mothers and
that's exactly She make sure that she's not a midwife, but she visits new mothers, make sure that the growth is. I mean, let's be honest. Do we really know what our parents do? I don't know what her day-to-day work is like, but I know she is a health visitor for the NHS.
It's a neonatal nurse type, or prenatal basically. So when babies are born, you're come around, check that the mother knows how to breastfeed, because some people, they just don't know how, they don't know where to put the baby, whatever. Check that the mother knows how to bath the baby. Check that the mother knows how to clean up. I mean? Check that the basic knowledge is there, because no one gives you a handbook with a baby.
No, they do not.
So the fact that the NHS, they do it in New Zealand as well. So my mum had the same for all of us kids in New Zealand. In Australia, it's not really as common, but it is a little bit. You've got to pay for it though. It doesn't just come for free.
So that's what my mum does.
Okay.
I assume. And before that, she was not just a nurse, but she was a nurse with the NHS. And then before that, she was with the TA. So she has a whole she's got this whole career in medicine and specialising in newborn babies. She's also raised 2 kids. And she is 13 weeks away from retiring, so she's about to have all the time in the world.
Right.
She also has spent the past 2 years counting down to her retirement because she wants to move to Spain. She wants to move out there after she retires and
Is she still with your father?
No, they divorced when I was 10.
Right, okay.
They're still great friends, in fact.
Okay.
Up until just a couple of months ago, they lived literally around the corner from each other. Okay. So they would be over at each other's house all the time. And now that, spoiler alert, my mum is taking care of Lily, my dad is, again, around at my mum's house all the time because he's let me see my granddaughter.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, no, it is. Their friendship is lovely and inspiring, and it's genuinely very nice. My mum was I want to raise her. If you rather than give her up for adoption, if you want, I will raise her until you and Brendan are in a position, emotionally, financially, all that stuff, where you feel like you can take her back, and there'll be no pressure on you in the meantime.
Yeah, is that an indefinite amount of time?
No, it's
no. What I mean by that, or has she said you better sort your shit out in 5 years or whatever, or she said I'll do it as long as you need?
No, she has not said. Because what's she going to do? If it gets to 2025 and we're not ready, she's not. In fact, what she specifically said, which I respect about her so much, was she was even when you feel like you're ready, I'm going to come check you out just to make sure that you actually are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which she can do because we've given her the PR, the parental responsibility, at least the lion's share of it. Obviously, Brendan and I naturally have some.
Okay.
She's you might think you're ready to raise a kid eventually. I'm going to make sure you are ready to raise a kid. In the meantime, we're regularly visiting so that, she doesn't grow up thinking we're strangers and that she knows who her parents actually are and that she's living with grandma. And I'd say it's a weird situation, but what I really loved about the midwives and the social workers that were treating us while we were in the hospital was they were there is no normal family, especially not these days. There is no so what is happening with you, Brendan, Lily, your mum? It is certainly not common, but that doesn't mean it's not normal, because there is no normal. What is happening is just another way that a family can be.
Yep.
And so you shouldn't feel guilty for anything that you've done, because this was a situation thrust upon you and you've handled it in the way that you thought was best. And we have, and so everyone's just been a tremendous. I was already in support of our NHS, obviously, before this happened, but now I'm I would die for the NHS, which arguably they don't want. But, arguably that goes against their entire code of conduct. But the point is, I love the NHS so much because every single person we met over the 5 days Brendan was in hospital, from every level, from the top level doctor who came to see us and mainly backing out of curiosity, down to the people who cleaned the rooms. Everyone was just so nice and so understanding and and like it's working in a hospital. I imagine it fucking sucks, and your hours are long, and your shifts are terrible, and you're seeing horrible things, and you're seeing beautiful things, but you're seeing horrible things.
You see, I mean, in a birthing ward it might be different, but hospital, I mean, EMTs that work in ambulances and that sort of thing, everyone that you see is having the worst day of their life.
Exactly.
No one's ringing you for a chat and a grand old time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everyone's having a shit time. I do want to ask you though, about your position as a parent, right, but also being non-binary.
Yeah.
What do you give yourself a title, and
Yeah.
what is that title?
So I had to actually do some Googling.
Okay.
Because I was like, I'm not dad.
Mm-hmm.
That's Brendan.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not mum, because that doesn't gel right with me.
Mm-hmm.
Although we, like, funnily enough, until Lilly came along, we had this joke between Brendan and I, where if we did have kids, it would be Brendad and Mumby, which I thought was very twee, but also very nice. Brendad and Mumby. I thought that was very nice. But like when it actually came time for it, I'm like, Mum doesn't sit right with me. So I had to do some Googling. I had to be like, what are some gender-neutral, non-binary titles that you can apply to a parent?
Mm-hmm.
What I learned...
This is what I don't know. This is what I'm very interested in.
What I learned is that, I obviously don't discriminate against non-binary people for any reason, but maybe non-binary people shouldn't be in charge of picking titles for parents, because every list I found was absolute dog shite.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, so the vast majority of them were some kind of combination of mammy, mummy, and daddy, which meant that you got like Maddie, Moddy, Muddy, Dammy. But the worst one that like makes my skin crawl to this day was Dommy.
Dommy.
If you make your child call you Dommy, you go to jail, I think, is what happens there. Is you shouldn't be allowed that child anymore if you make them call you Dommy.
See, I was thinking that they would come in with a completely new title that was gender neutral and didn't have to conform to dad and mum.
So there was one that I found,
Right.
which I have since adapted, and I like it. That you take the N and the B from non-binary, and you basically make the daddy mummy formula with that. So it's Nibby.
Nibby.
There's like, you can like different lists give it different spellings. Like it's either Nibi or Nibby. I personally prefer Nibby.
Yeah, I prefer that.
But Nibby, I like it. I think
Yeah.
it follows that same formula. It's like it's going to be natural for a child to say.
Yeah,
I reckon. Nibby. And
Nibby and daddy.
And it does like relate to the non-binary aspect of it without sort of being explicit about it.
Yeah.
And like you just said, Nibby and daddy, like it works. It does work, and most importantly, it sounds cute.
Yeah.
So I'm Nibby.
And your interactions with Lilly so far, because I've seen many people I don't know, but people have children and they go, we're not giving our baby a gender now, we're going to let them choose their gender. Is that what you guys... you have been referring to Lilly as her and your daughter throughout this, so I assume that that's not what you're doing, but...
So it's the whole like raising the child gender neutral, it's one of those like things where I get where they're coming from, but even as a non-binary person, I'm like... Like I haven't really thought about it in depth enough to like come up with a good argument for or against as to why I feel either way. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, that poor girl's gonna get so bullied already. why make it worse?
Yeah.
So no, it's like I think maybe if I like if we were raising her in a vacuum, maybe we would. We certainly are not going to be shy about letting her know that however she identifies, we're going to support her.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that's the main thing. Like if she's...
That's what I think. I think you're the most supportive parent without pushing anything on her.
Yeah.
Like if she's just a girly girl, that's fine.
Absolutely.
But if she wants to go, you understand there's definitely a spectrum and there's options more than say some other parents might.
Me and Brendan have talked about it. I'd say at length, but it's been a very quick conversation because we're both very much in agreement. It's like she can be straight, bi, trans, cisgendered, pansexual. She can be whatever she wants as long as she's not a fucking Tory. We don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how old is Lily now? She was born in November.
She will be 3 months old this Sunday.
Okay.
No, not tomorrow, as in next Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is a 3-month-old doing? Not a lot.
Not a lot. Real quick, I just want to take it back to the gender stuff.
Okay.
Because while we've obviously, I'd say like if we raised her in a vacuum, we might do that, but we're not raising her in a vacuum. We are raising her with both mine and Brendan's parents operating as grandparents. And my parents, they're very supportive of me. And they would be very supportive of Lily in whatever she comes out to be, whether that be straight, trans, cis, whatever. Brendan's parents less so. Don't want to get too much into that, but it is also the fact that like my parents, my dad especially, is just so excited about having a granddaughter that like the presents that they've been like, she's the most spoiled little girl in the world. Like she gets
more spoiled than you were when you were a child.
Oh yeah, no, because the thing is, when I was born, I'm the oldest of two, and when I was born, both my parents were still like very like quite working class. Like my dad drove trucks, and my mum was a nurse on the NHS. So like we didn't have like a lot of money. So like no, I did okay. And like even when my sister came along and the money was spread a bit thinner, like we did okay, but like we weren't spoiled. Not until my dad got an office job and my mum got promoted. Then we became middle class. But no. Like as a baby, so I was not spoiled.
Are you now envious of your own daughter as to how much she's spoiled by your parents?
No. But the point is,
why couldn't it have been me?
The point is, like, all of the stuff that she gets, whether it be from my family directly or from like distant relatives, or even from friends of my parents who are just happy to give. Like
everyone likes a baby.
Yeah, like our kids are growing up now. Take this stuff. Like they're only giving her girl stuff.
Yeah.
Like so, she's got like a shit ton of dresses and all that stuff. And I just want her to grow up knowing that she has other options.
Yeah.
So ideally, my parents would maybe buy her like baby, like because she's still in the 1 to 3 months, about to hit the 3 to 6 months in terms of the clothing section you buy. Buy her something from the boys section. The boys, like, buy her something with dinosaurs on, or like football or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be all unicorns and princesses and stuff.
I feel like, in my opinion, between a baby like a 0 and 1, they really don't. The only gender they really have is what they're wearing. Like even looking at a baby with clothes on, you can't say beautiful boy or beautiful girl,
exactly,
or beautiful anything. It's just a baby.
Yeah.
Like in my head, like it's just a baby, and the baby is about as useful as like a chair. Like, it doesn't really do an awful.
I mean, don't sit on Lily, please.
No, I won't. I definitely won't. She's not here for me to sit on. I do like sitting on kids, though. It's one of my favourite pastimes. That's the reason, actually, I went down to London this weekend, because the last time I saw my family down in London, my auntie was pregnant with this baby, and then it was born in January of last year, and then it had its first birthday like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh my god, it's been a year, I still haven't seen this baby. So I felt like I had to go down and visit and show my face, and it was lovely to meet baby Remy. But it's a case of like kids. I mean, Remy's now like walking around. He's sort of making like noises, and like we're having like a bit of fun. I feel like he's like building into more of a person. But like 0 to 1.
Yeah, they're not doing anything.
I mean, the baby has no idea what's going on.
I mean, this is we. So obviously, she lives with my mum. So we see her when we go to visit, but. My mum is still wanting to eventually move to Spain, and that was part of the reason why we were like happy for her to take her, was because if she ends up moving like this year, like the plan was to move as soon as she retired.
Okay.
So like she's set the plans back a little bit, but not too much. And like we would have felt horrible if she'd like given up on her dream to move to Spain in order to raise our kid, So like we're glad that she's still wanting to go out there. But like we're happy for her to actually take her out there, because then she's going to grow up bilingual probably. Like she's probably not going to have any kind of iron deficiency, depending on where my mum...
She's going to get to see the sun.
She's going to get to see the sun. She's not going to live in dreary... Like, this is the thing, is eventually when Brendan and I are going to be ready to take her back, she's not going to want to come home, because she's going to come home to fucking England, of all places.
How horrible.
Yeah, but like, my mum's still looking at these places, and so she'll go out to
Is she looking at a particular area of Spain?
Yeah, but I can't remember what it's called.
Okay. Is it the hot area?
It's...
At the south?
She likes the sun, she likes the beach, she likes swimming pools.
Beautiful, perfect,
so she's out there looking, and she flies out for about 5 to 7 days every couple of months just to like do some house hunting. And
so she's looking to buy a property.
Oh yeah, she's looking to buy.
Okay. That's so cool.
She wants to. She's not looking for a holiday home. She's looking for like she's going to live out the rest of her days.
Yeah. Can she speak Spanish?
She's learning.
Okay.
Through Duolingo.
Okay, that's cool.
But, I don't actually know how fluent she is.
Okay.
But,
I'd love to get your mum on the podcast.
She's a very interesting woman. So she's out there for like 5 to 7 days every couple of months, and so since Lily's been born, she's only been out there once. But for those 6 days, we had her, and it was our first time having her with we would have when we go up there to visit. Obviously, we are then taking care of her. We're not then leaving my mum to do like the feeding and the nappies and stuff. When we're up there, we're taking care of that. But like my mum's still there. Like this was a full week where we had if shit went wrong, it was on us. And my dad's in Newcastle, like 2.5 hours away.
Whereabouts does your mum live?
In Durham.
Okay, so still northeast.
Yeah. Still, it's a half-hour drive from my dad's.
Okay.
So like, if shit went wrong, like it was on us, and like no one was gonna help us out if like things were really bad at like 4 in the morning. So like there was a lot of pressure on us, and it was hard. But from what I've been told from my other friends who are parents, specifically one of them asked me, so how many times in a night does Lily wake up for you to feed her or change her or anything like that? And in the entire week that we had her, every night was only once, usually closer to like 6, 7 in the morning. And every single friend who has a kid who I've told that to has said, Umby, I fucking hate you and your fucking kid. Because apparently she's like the most easygoing, laid back baby that there's ever been. Like if she cries, you feed her, or you just like pick her up, or you just take her for a small drive and she stops crying. Like if you want her to stop crying, there's very easy ways to stop her crying. It's not like, she's still crying and she won't stop. Like it was hard, but apparently it could have been a lot harder.
Oh my god!
So that or we're naturals. I mean, it's like either she's great or we're great. But I like to think that she's great.
I did want to ask one question that the audience may be wondering.
Yeah.
How soon after birth did Lily go with your mum? Was it like a few days, or was it straight from the hospital? Or?
No. So my mum. She basically, when she told her boss that she was wanting to take care of this baby, her boss was essentially like, you're 13 weeks away from retirement. I think we can let that slide.
Okay.
But you do still have a couple of cases that you need to follow up on.
Right, okay.
So my mum had like 10 days where she still had to work.
Yep.
For those 10 days, she lived with a foster carer in near Failsworth, called Margaret, it was arranged through the Salford City social council, just through their social work department. Margaret was is an absolute star. She's like a professional, not professional, but she fosters kids. That's what she does. Like when Lily was there, she was also fostering like the 7-year-old girl who she would go and do the school runs and take her to the cinema and stuff like that. Because she's Margaret's in a 70s or whatever now, so she's had kids and the kids have all grown up and the kids have grandkids and now they're all so she's I still have this mothering nurture within me. So any kid that needs,
I think Hazel might be a little bit like that as well. I think it's those type of people that they're almost forever mothers. So if they're not mothering their own children, they'll find someone else's children to mother.
But Margaret's just this amazing lady who took Lily in a distance where it was easily drivable, so we could still go and visit her. And she was the one that's this is how you hold the bottle, this is how you feed it. She was the one. She was essentially Lily's first real carer outside of the hospital, and great woman.
I wanted to ask then, has Lily been breastfed yet, or has it all been formula, or how does it work?
All formula.
Okay.
It's all been formula.
Okay. This is going to be a weird question, because I've just been with my auntie that's still breastfeeding, right? But has Brendan been lactating? Naturally?
No. So, because of the whole gender issues, which he explained to the midwife sort of afterwards, he was like, I will get very bad dysphoria if I'm lactating.
Yeah.
So they gave him a...
Espresso?
A what?
To express the milk, like a pump.
They gave him something, some kind of medication that inhibits...
Oh, stops it because automatically as the baby comes out, the breasts fill up with milk, and it's right, it's time to start feeding. So there's a pill They can stop it.
And, or like at the very maybe not stop it entirely, but I mean, if Brendan did lactate, he didn't tell me.
Okay.
They gave him this wonderful magic of science.
But the boobs didn't blow back up because the boobs broke
Like
quite a bit.
same with the belly, not to a noticeable degree, not to a degree where you might be Brendan still. I don't know how much of this I should be talking about without his permission, but Brendan still wears a binder, and his binder, which he had before Lilly was even conceived, still works. It still binds his chest, so without any discomfort or problems.
And proper expensive binder, not cheap shitty binder.
Like £40.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I learned all about binders on my my podcast with Ben.
Yeah, don't bind your chest with tape, kids.
No, yeah, or bandages.
Or bandages, or don't
or
do
cheap
what
eBay.
Don't do what Eponine does in Les Mis. Don't do that. Go to a proper binder website. And, it's like 30 or 40 quid for at the very least a safe one. It might not be the most comfortable or the most efficient, but it's at least safe. And do that.
Interesting. Right. Well, we've done almost an hour. We're up to 55. I mean, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
I think actually I want to flip that back on you. And I'm like, is there anything else pertaining to any of this, the situation, Lilly being a non-binary parent, anything that you haven't asked yet that you want to cram in before the episode ends?
I don't think so.
Oh, right, okay.
I feel like I've got it all out of the way. I wanted to say that I'm quite impressed by the way that you've handled the whole situation, because I can think, I can only really compare it to mine and Hazel's relationship, right? And if we found out tomorrow that Hazel was 35 weeks pregnant and then a baby arrived the next day, I don't think,
I can see you having a panic attack thinking about it.
Were you calm, or were you just putting on a front of being calm?
Option C, I was doing neither and was freaking the fuck out the whole time.
Because it seems like now you're very calm about the whole process. But was it a case of without your parents, this would have been a far more stressful process?
Dude, so much. If my parents hadn't come down, and my sister lives in Manchester, so she was able to come over and check on me, or at least take care of the dog while I was visiting in the hospital. Without that familial support, I would have fallen to pieces.
See, your parents are only in the northeast of England, whereas if it was happened to us, Hazel has a mum in Leeds, but Hazel has a mum in Leeds that already has a 9-year-old that she looks after. Can't expect her to take on, and no one else in Hazel's family. Well, I mean, you probably didn't think, mum will take care of this, no dramas, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would think that my mum, because my youngest sister is now 19, and mum's getting this sort of empty nest syndrome because my brother's moved out with his partner, I live in another country with mine, and then my sister is going on trips and out with her friends and whatever, and she's not really home. So I think if it happened in Australia, mum would be like, oh, Papa, she would be able to step in. And she has the financial means, the time, or the rest to be able to do so. So if it happened here in England, I think I'm not even working. I
think we were able to handle it as well as we did because we had a plan.
Yeah.
The plan was adoption.
Yeah.
And as heartbreaking as it would have been, we knew that was what needed to happen.
Yeah.
And it just then would have been a matter of
So how far into the adoption process did you get? Were you were you almost there?
So you have to sign. I think it's section 19 and section 20. Section 19 says that you are happy for the baby to go into foster care, and then after you've found a family for it to go to, section 20 is what you sign to say I submit all parental responsibilities and all
So is that what your mum has done? Has your mum technically adopted Lilly?
No.
Right.
But you sign basically. You can't sign section 20 until the baby's at least 6 weeks old.
Right.
So you you meet the family. I don't know how much of it you actually get to choose the family, but you get to meet the family.
Yeah.
And
you can say no if you want to.
I don't know. We didn't get that.
You must be able to. Imagine if it walks in.
Maybe. But we didn't get that far because we signed section 19 to say that we are happy for the baby to go into foster care.
Yeah.
But that's when my mum pitched the idea to us of raising the kid. And
so the section 20 never came.
The section 20 never came. We said to the social workers, "We're happy with this." My mum said, "I'm happy with this." The social worker was like, she had to do a quick background check on my mum, but then she turned up clean, and my mum was happy.
Yeah.
She was happy with my mum, so they were like, okay, so you don't want Section 20, you want to give Lily to your mum until you're ready to take her back? And we were like, yeah. And then they were like, officially, this is now a family member. It is out of the council's hands.
You guys sort it out between yourselves.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not going to be a case of your mum's like, you're never getting her back, she's mine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But even if she did, there's worse places that she could go.
Then Spain, yeah, exactly. No,
Spain with your mum, who you know how she operates. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and who is like, she's a great mum,
the most equipped woman for the job.
Oh, it's so equipped, yeah. So it's bueno.
Big love to your mum. Well, look, Umby, thank you so much for coming on and explaining this crazy story. I'm gonna go to sleep tonight and try and predict the next comedy pregnancy.
That, or just dream about Simon Lomas's pierced dick.
No, stop! Umby Winters. I'm turning it off.
No, wait. No, don't turn it off yet. There's a street right near mine called Lomas Close. Ross Ballinger was there at my place a few weeks ago for my birthday. Yeah. And as she was walking to the tram stop, she passed Lomas Close and took a picture of it. It's on Facebook. But I'm going to go there and I'm going to write Lomas Closed and then just...
Oh no! Umby Winters, everybody. Ruining all their great work by being absolutely disgusting.
Pierce your dicks!